So this week I am working on a demo for my album, and what I'm doing here is exporting a track that I made on the MPC Live 2, and this instrumental was actually made last summer, so it's been a while. What I'm showing you here is kind of loading the instrumental. Like I said, it was made on a Live 2, but I have it stored on a USB drive, and so if I go to my MPC projects from June 2022, I can see this project. I called it Good God. Now, this is kind of like a TV on the radio sort of indie rock thing, and there's definitely some stuff I need to do. So you can see I built it out in song mode by creating different sequences, and I used OP4, a drum kit from Machine, Fabric XL, and then I also added some guitar here using the amp sim and the air reverb. And there's a few different guitar riffs in the different sections of the song. And so here, I basically just export. I use separate programs so that I have the stems. It doesn't split it out, I believe, on a per pad level, which is too bad for things like drums, and is something I think Machine will do, but I couldn't figure out how to do here. But it's still good enough to kind of get this done. So I export in an exports folder I created on my external hardware. And this is, kind of showing what I already did here. But yeah, you'll hit OK and it'll start exporting. And once exporting is done, you'll actually see the files in your destination folder. At this point, you want to turn off the device, which is what I'm doing here, because you don't want to remove your storage while the device is on, because it depends on the storage, especially if you install all your plugins and stuff on it like I do, rather than using the internal storage. This does take a second to turn off. Then I just grabbed this little SanDisk that I bought for like 20 bucks. It's got 256 gigs and it's USB-A and USB-C, which is pretty sick. Take that, put it right into the USB-C port on my desktop, boot that bad boy up. And then from here, it is set up so it's actually going to auto open a window. I didn't realize that, so I opened an extra Finder window for no reason. But yep. Here we can see the entire external drive, and this is part of why I like using external media with the MPCs, because it's really easy to get your files. There's my stems. So next, I opened up Ableton Live and realized I didn't have my audio interface plugged in, which means once it loaded up, it was going to be like, hey, your audio is disabled. Right. So here is where I was like, okay, let's actually get all set up. So I've got this really messy drawer, and I've got my Audient ID14 Mark II, which is my trusty audio interface, and then I just grabbed this generic, probably Apple-made USB-C cable, and I already dragged the stems into the project, and so I'm just exporting my media here because I'm using the same port to plug in the audio interface. There's another USB-C port, I like using this one. Plug in there, plug in on the back, which was actually difficult while holding the camera. Switch over to headphone mode, turn up the gain here, or volume, can't remember which is which. And then I open up what I've already done here. So like I said, I've already actually dragged these stems into the project, and I've actually already recorded some scratch vocals. And so here I'm taking my Shure headphones. These are like the best headphones I've ever used. I use them all the time. I'll affiliate link if you want in the description. Plug those bad boys in, and now I'm ready to actually do some stuff. Oh yeah, I will need a microphone though. So this is my Shure Beta 58A and a pretty decent XLR cable. Getting that all plugged in and set up. And then once that's all good to go, get the headphones on, and what I usually do is listen to my instrumental and then create scratch vocals by improvising over the top of the instrumental. So here I've done that, and I'm actually going to show some of that process. When I was building it out, I brought the stems in as you can see here, and then I lowered the volume of all of them because they were fairly loud out of the MPC, and that way I'm not clipping while I'm recording. And then yeah, you can see an EQ, an amp simulator, and a hybrid reverb on the actual vocal chain. And here I'll show you the process of actually recording some of these.
Say I know 'cause you made a drink. We don't know what you're with. I don't want you home.
Okay, so this is kind of cheating because it's a bit of a reenactment. Like I said, I already did this, but that's an example of what it's like. I'm just listening over the first idea I had, layering on it, at least to double the vocal here. And then I'm actually going to do the same thing, but recreating the little verse idea I had.
Lost my head and I just I float right in the gray. Every day think I'm alright, but I'm insane. No, I won't change. No, I won't change. No, I won't stay.
And usually I'll listen back to what I've just done to make sure it doesn't sound too crap. Because again, this is just scratch, but I want to make sure I like what I'm setting down. And for a final song, I would not just loop the chorus, but when I'm building demos, I usually just copy and paste the chorus until I have a real written thing. But then I would re-record, and this is what that's like. Excuse the dorky dancing, but at this point I would then export out a demo, usually just as an MP3. I don't really need like super high file size here because I'm just going to listen to it, play it back, and then write to it. Or I might record in the DAW as I talk about now. Okay, so it's about this point in the process where I would start listening to the demo over and over again, and I would start actually trying to write real lyrics. Sometimes I'll write stuff in like the Notes app on my phone, and sometimes I would just actually go back into Ableton and listen over and over again and just start making stuff up kind of to the cadence that I came up with. In the world of music production, what I do, the way I write is called top lining, where you basically go in and you create the melody, but it's not necessarily the lyrics. I kind of create my music as though it was like a pop music factory, but it's all just me. And so in this case, I would go back, listen over and over again until I found something that made sense. This is the most demo-ish demo of the demos for my album. A lot of them are much further along, but I thought it could be interesting to show this process. This song won't be finished for a while, and in fact, I'm probably gonna end up sending it to my friend Jake Stein, who's co-producing my album with me. He worked with me on my last album, There's Something Better, as well. And originally I wasn't even gonna make any videos about this process until we were actually releasing songs, but I realized making YouTube videos that weren't about my album was actually delaying work I was doing on my album, so I thought it'd be interesting to tie it all together. Hopefully this was interesting. If you find yourself dealing with creator block, which I definitely have been, just messing around with the different gear you have and letting yourself make up fake lyrics over a song, letting yourself iterate and just enjoy the process can be helpful. I'm not a guru, I'm not a master of this. Most of my music, it's like 20 at most listeners a month, but I love this process. I've been doing it forever. And I have a good feeling about this album. Anyway, I hope watching this process was interesting, and I'll catch you next week. Bye.
When my life goes, will I bear it? When my time comes, will I feel it? And I'm falling down so slow.